So we go to the bottom of the third inning. Rangers on top 4-3. Joining us now, and happy to have him along, Ranger President and General Manager Jon Daniels. JD, good to see you. Thanks for coming by.
Yeah. My strategy of only coming up in the bottom half of innings playing out just as I hoped.
Yeah.
Glad you weren't here in the top of the second. Let's put it that way.
Hey, I got to ask before we get into what's going on at the big league level, minor league system, a lot of great things happening in the organization. 3 teams in the playoffs in the minor leagues. That's got to be well, that's the lifeblood of an organization. It's got to be a pleasing situation for you and the Rangers.
Yeah, no doubt, Buzz. Our guys done a tremendous job this year, up and down throughout the system. Number of managers done an outstanding job, but the 3 guys still going: Corey Ragsdale in Hickory, Spike Owen in High Desert, and Jason Wood in Round Rock, and then Aaron Levin in the DSL was in the playoffs too. And the irony, of course, is we're playing probably the biggest series we've ever played against the Astros. Kind of, really the rivalry becoming a rivalry for real now. We played the Astros 3 times in the minor leagues in the playoffs. So they've got a great system as well, and we beat them in the DSL. We beat them in Cal League, and now we're playing them in the PCL for the AAA title there. So it's fun, playing these guys on 4 levels, and hopefully we'll go 4-0.
It's changed things around a little bit since the Rangers and Astros now in the same division. It used to be, you'd see them twice a year here in Houston, and you'd say, yeah, we'll play them in the minor leagues. Didn't have quite the impact as when you see it play out on the big league level and the minor league level. No doubt,
and just the reality that the organizations have been on such different parts of the winning cycle since the Astros came over and joined us here in the AL.
John, if you go back a number of years, and the first time fans at the big league level knew anything about a minor league player is when they saw him in the big league. It's much different now for obvious reasons. Our fans know a lot about our minor league players, and several years ago you signed 3 highly touted Dominican players and paid them a lot of money. Could you bring us up to date on the progress of those 3 players?
Well, just to be clear, I didn't pay him anything. But,
well, I knew if you could, you would have.
Yeah, exactly. Ownership certainly stepped up in a big way. Yeah, the 3 guys, Nomar Mazara, who's at AAA. He's 20 years old. He's probably one of the best pure hitters in the minor league, certainly in our system. But I think if you go around and talk to people outside our organization, they'd say the same thing. Left-hand hitter, started the year at Frisco in right field, and we've been bouncing him back and forth between left and right. Really just a pure hitter. He's not the best athlete, but he's good enough. Fundamentally sound, really good makeup. Dad was in the Dominican Navy, which I didn't know existed until I found out that his dad was there. But just great kid, smart guy. At the same time we signed him, actually the same year we signed him and Leonis Martin out of Cuba, we signed Ronald Guzman, who's a 6'6" first baseman, really pretty left-handed swing, and he's had a nice year as well. Finished the year real strong there, and he's playing in the playoffs for the High Desert Club for Spike Owen. And then the 3rd guy the next year we signed Jairo Barras. So there was a little bit of controversy at the time because question on the age. And our guys did a tremendous job in getting to the bottom of that story, and he's had probably one of the real breakout second halves in our organization. Big reason that Hickory finished as strong as they did. It's 6'5", 6'6", prototype arm in right field. If he wasn't such a power hitting prospect, you can put him on the mound, and but we're not doing that. I don't want to give Mike Daly cold sweats or anything, but so you've really seen all 3 of them come along and make strides, and they've been in the system for a long time. That's kind of like when Martin Perez was in AA and AAA, and I remember he didn't have great stats, and I remember people say, are you worried about this guy? And you're like, no, he's 19, 20 years old playing against 25-year-olds. Same thing with these 2 guys. They heck of a turn. Same thing with these 3 guys. They're still so young, and you can really see the benefits of development and then just getting reps and at bats in the system.
Yeah, John, and we make the transition from the minor leagues to the major leagues, and the play you just saw with Jose Altuve and Carlos Correa teaming up. Rangers have Elvis Andrus and Rougned Odor. Not exactly the same age, but pretty close.
Yeah.
You're seeing the culmination of some efforts on both minor league systems to get these guys to the big leagues, and they're going to be the foundations of these two teams for a long time to come.
Well, and both, Odor, we gave some money to, but he wasn't like signed right on July 2nd. We signed him in December. Great job scouting there by Rafiq Saab and Mike Daly and the crew. Pure hitter from day one and with tremendous makeup, and he's got there. Elvis came over in the high-profile deal. Right. Kind of the same thing. Altuve was not necessarily a profile guy. Wasn't a huge sign. Obviously, with the shorter stature probably played into that on some level. But he's a tremendous player. Heart and soul guy on their club. And then Correa, number 1 overall. And I got to tip the cap and give the Astros credit there. He was not a consensus 1-1 pick. Sometimes you get Bryce Harper or Griffey or A-Rod, and everybody knows who's going 2 months before the draft. He wasn't that guy. I think if he polled most people, I think they would have thought it was Byron Buxton that year. Correa was a great prospect, but give a lot of credit to the Astros for the way the system sets up. They lost the games. They got the first pick in the draft, and they cashed in with this guy.
Joey Gallo up there now. The base is empty after that great double play turned by the Astros. Gallo, a strikeout his first time up there. Facing McHugh for the second time tonight. 3-1 pitch. Ball 4. Joey able to work the 2-out walk. He's aboard for Chris Jimenez.
Hey, John, how would you characterize, if you do have a certain philosophy on when to move young players through the minor leagues? Do you have, going into the season, any way to gauge how you're going to determine that?
Well, we've got some, we set out specific objectives at each guy's player plan. The field staff, the scouts that know them. I mean, it's a joint effort. But ultimately, the rovers that are working with them every day, the managers, the coaches, kind of give a lot of feedback, and we kind of have a general idea. Hey, this is a guy who's going to spend, like Louis Ortiz this year, or Yohander Mendez, some of those young pitchers in Hickory. We kind of plan for them to spend the bulk of the year there together with that whole young pitching group. There are other guys that were saying, hey, we're going to try to make an evaluation here quickly, move them if they met these criteria, or in a lot of cases we wait till the All-Star break or sometimes even the trade deadline, because it might not be keyed off their development, but there are times where if we're trying to acquire somebody and teams are looking at some of our prospects, you don't want to have the confusion of moving a bunch of guys right there at the height of the scouts going in to watch them. That's secondary, obviously, to their development, but when you talk about in practice, that plays into it.
Yep.
There goes Gallo. The pitch is swung on and missed. The throw is not in time. Joey able to get in there with the stolen base, and he's in scoring position.
That's one thing with Joey that I think people miss. This guy's a very good athlete. Yeah. He's a very good base runner. For a big man, he's 240 pounds or whatever he is. He had that dirt ball read the other day where he got anticipated, got a great read, great jump from second base and got to third. Steals a bag there. So he's obviously, he's up here because he can swing the bat, and you put him down at the bottom of the order for a power threat, but he can do a lot of different things.
And how about this year's draft? You had a very high pick and got some picks you like. How have they developed?
Yeah, we went kind of pitching heavy at the top of this year's draft, Tom, and Tate, Matuella, Lemoyne, kind of some of the college pitchers that we took up high, and then we took a couple high school bats. Those guys, with the exception of Matuella, the pitchers that have gone out have been really good. He's recovering from Tommy John surgery.
John, we won't keep you. We appreciate you coming by. Thanks for the update. We'll check in with you again here shortly.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.